was properly noticed in the Excelsior Springs Standard. The general fund is currently at 10 cents, and that's what was advertised. Park fund, 0. Special road and bridge, currently at 8 cents, and that's what was advertised. General debt and interest, 0. Advertised, 0. Mental health, the current rate is 0.0984. I think there's some representatives here of that entity. They did request an increase to meet 10 cents. The 10 cents was advertised. DDRB, current rate is 0.1191. Again, I believe some representatives aren't here. They requested a decrease, which was what was advertised, 0.1144. Senior citizens, current rate 0.0499. Their request was that it remain at the same level, advertised at 0.0499. So this is a public hearing. Mr. Presiding Commissioner, if there's any members of the public that want to comment on it, and then you have an ordinance under the regular agenda where the commission will give staff your direction on how to proceed.
This part of it is for those, not for agencies, but for members of the general public who would like to comment. We're bringing up in just a few moments under the ordinance, and that will be the appropriate time for agencies, DDRB and mental health to make their comments. Is there anyone here from the general public who would like to make a comment on the proposed levies?
As I assume most people know, I was a commissioner from 2001 to 2008. This property tax levy has always been something that, an issue that has kind of bothered me. I believe in the late 80s, at least I was told when I took office, that the commission then told the voters of Clay County, if you'll pass this sales tax we have proposed, we will permanently set the 3 levies that the county controls, which is road and bridge, park, and general fund. They would permanently set those to 0. Commissioner Owen probably knows more about this than I do, and that it would never be raised. And people passed that sales tax, and the levies at that time were set to 0. We operated with those levies at 0 from that time on, approximately 20 years through the first 7 years I was in office. And even though there was a lot of turmoil in Clay County government during that time, I think financially the county was very stable. In 2002, the voters passed a use tax. On the ballot with that use tax was another issue that would permanently set the levies to 0. Before that, the commission had voluntarily set them to 0, but still had the ability to raise them. This was meant to permanently set them to 0, so they couldn't be raised without a vote of the people. Well, later, a judge threw out that part of the election. It kept the use tax, but threw out the levies being set to 0. In 2007, this time of year, under pressure from the county administrator and some of the office holders, the commission took a vote on the property taxes. We had our meetings on Monday then, like you do on Monday. It failed 2-to-1 to raise them from 0 up to 24 cents. Another meeting was called for the following Thursday, and at that time it passed 2-to-1. I never felt like the second vote was ethical. I don't know that the proper, there was some question in my mind whether the proper notice was given, whether the notice for the first public hearing carried on to the second meeting or not. But be that as it may, they were raised. These property taxes have an effect on almost everyone that lives in this county. If you own a car, if you own a boat, if you own property, real property of any type, these taxes affect you. And it's always been a problem for me, even though I voted against it twice in 2007, it's always been a problem for me that this was done after the people of Clay County were promised that their taxes would never be raised without a vote of the people. So the commission has the ability to raise them. The commission also obviously has the ability to lower them. So that's what I'm asking that you consider over this year, next year, the years following that, is to whittle these levies down as much as you think you can and keep the county in good, financial shape. Because I think that's a promise that was made to the county people in this county years ago and needs to be kept. I also know that there's some bonds that were issued years ago, and these bond issues are going to be coming off the books here before long, which should supply some relatively decent revenue to help fund the difference if you do lower these taxes. I know the bonds for the golf course, I think, start coming off here in the next year or two, if I remember correctly. So this is always, like I said, it's always been something that bothered me. It bothered me the way it was done. It bothered me that the promise was broken, even though, like I said, I voted against it both times. So I would like for you all to just take it under consideration that in future years, if you can, to work these levies back down as low as possible, to at least in some respect keep the promise that was made to the voters back in the 1980s. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Sure.
Greg, I appreciate your coming today, because that's really why I'm here. That's really why I ran for office, because when that vote was taken, took the levies from 0 to 24 cents, I thought that was illegal. To raise taxes without a vote of the people, after the people voted and to give the county half-cent sales tax. And then it was raised from 0 to 24 cents, and then the county kept that half-cent sales tax and the 24 cents. So I've only been here 3 years. The first year here, I lowered the tax 1 cent. Last year, I lowered it 2 cents. And I want to say right now that the county, financially, it's in the best shape that I think it's ever been in the history of Clay County. So I do think that we have an opportunity to lower some of these taxes. And the calculations last year, when we lowered the 2 cents of that levy back from 12 to 10, the tax auditor allowed the county to go back 7 years to recalculate that taxes. We had to lower that taxes last year. And so I do think, like the assessed valuation has been going up. We're one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Missouri. Our assessed valuation is going up so fast. Our sales tax is going up so much. Last year, our sales tax was up over $2 million. This year, I think Ted has told me it's up close to $1 million this year. We have an opportunity to lower these. Now, a lot of people get confused when we set the levy. The budget is one thing, the levy is something else. And so I'm in the process, and I'm hoping that somehow we can lower these taxes another 2 or 3 cents this year.
Well,
thank you for coming.
Well, and that's the reason I waited till this year to come, because I knew in previous years, maybe the economy hadn't been quite as good. But I talked to 2 or 3 city councilmen from cities within Clay County, and all of them had told me the revenues were way up. So, and the other thing that's going to start happening also is that some parts of the Shoal Creek TIF are going to start dropping off in the next year or 2, which is also going to supply extra money to the county.
Great to go. One of the things that you mentioned about the bond issue, our bond issue in the county is virtually 0. We only owe on a bond issue $1.5 million. You say, well, that's a lot of money, but when you compare that to Platte County, they have a $60 million bond issue in Platte County. Ours is $1.5 million. So our bond, we're essentially in good shape in Platte County.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how good we are.
Well, as these things drop off, the bonds, you don't have to, when they end, you don't have to pay for them anymore. When the TIF on Walmart and the TIF on Home Depot and those areas of Shoal Creek and other areas too, the Choteau area, those will begin to drop off. And that's going to be, you know, instead of getting half the money for those, I mean, I don't have to explain to you all, you get it all. So I think that other than the increase that you would normally see in your day-to-day business, you know, from sales tax and from assessed valuation, are also going to see some windfalls from the bonds and from the TIF, some of these TIFs dropping off too. So I think that that's why I came this year, because I thought this was the opportunity to do this, because you're going to have this other revenue coming down the line. So
I would like to also say one thing, is that, you know, the county is in a position now, the county's growing, the county government is growing. And one thing that we have to look at as commissioners is that, where are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to expand? Every department, every elected official, their office is growing. And we need to kind of look ahead to see what we're going to do in the future as far as growth of the county government. The last thing that, when I ran for office, the county has never done, help cities out in the county. And so I would like to see the county do more participation with cities. They can't afford to do things. So I would like to do more projects with the cities in the county.
thank you. In case there's any confusion, lowering these levies, like the general fund levy is the biggest one, ain't gonna have any effect, or shouldn't have any effect, on your deal with the road districts and the city. It shouldn't have any effect on any of the other taxing entities like the senior fund or DDRB or anything like that. So before anybody starts screaming about that, you can do this and not have any effect on those others. Thank you.